Alright, so in this lecture we will be talking about a sorting algorithm called as Insertion Sort Algorithm. So I would like to consider an array of 5 integers, let's say 5 and 3 and 1 and 4 and 2. So I have this array of 5 integers and I'm going to give the corresponding indices 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So in insertion sort algorithm, so basically we want to sort this array, and for that I'm going to start here, start at the index 1. I'm going to assign the start index as 1, and then I'm going to assign this index value to a variable called temp, and I'm going to give the value of this index to a variable called temp. And now you look at the previous value. Now if we are going to compare this value and the temp, if this value is greater than 3, we are going to shift the value to the next index, and we are going to assign the value at the temp to the previous index. So now it will look something like this. So it will look 3, 5, 1, 4 and then 2. So now what I will be doing is move the start index to the next index, increment it. So now I will be starting here. If I start here, again I'm going to assign the value here to a variable temp. After I assign it to the value temp, then I am going to compare this and the value at the temp, the previous element value with the value at the temp. If 5 is greater than 1, if that value is greater than 1, which is 5 greater than 1, then I'm going to shift 5 to the next index. And next what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare this value with the value at the temp. If this is greater than 1, which is 3 greater than 1, then I'm going to shift the 3 to the next index, and I'm going to assign 1 to the place where 3 was. So now the array looks something like 1, 3, 5, 4 and then 2. Now again I have to repeat the same process. Now I have to start with the next index, I have to increment it. So I will start from here, start. Now assign this value to a temp. Check if the previous element value is greater than this, which is 5 greater than 4. Then I have to assign it here. Then I have to move this here. Now it becomes 1, 3, 4, 5 and then 2. Finally what I have to do is I have to move the start index here, increment it. Now assign 2 here, temp. Now check if this is greater than 2. Yes, it is greater than 2. So therefore we are going to assign it to the next element. Now check 4 is greater than 2. This one is also greater than 2. Now we are going to assign it to the next element, next index. Check if 3 is greater than 2. Yes, say 3 is greater than 2. So I'm going to move it to the next index. Now check 1 is greater than 2. If 1 is less than 2. So I'm going to assign temp. I'm going to assign this value here to the place 3 was originally. So now our final index will look something like this. Obviously look like this, 1, 2, 3 and 5. So this is our sorted array. This is what we want. So if we want to talk about the algorithm for this, the first one is you have to assign the start index to 1. Then what you have to do is assign that value at start index to a new variable called temp. Now check if the previous value is greater than temp. If yes, shift the previous value index, shift the previous value to the next index. If no, assign the same temp to the same index. This is for the first iteration. This is not for the next two and second iteration, third iteration. You can generally say this if no, you have to assign the temp to the place where previous value existed, to the place where previous value index was. So this is the algorithm for the insertion sort. So again I will give some. So this is how we implement insertion sort algorithm. Thank you.